Today, I'm going to tell you guys how I mentally broke par for the very first time and how I nearly threw it all away. Let's get into it. There's a lot of talk about the mental side of golf and whether or not it's important or not. I definitely feel it is. I'm going to tell you, I've never made a video about me actually breaking par for the first time, and since this whole channel is about trying to break par, it's like, why don't I tell you how I actually did it for the first time? Because it didn't come easy and I nearly threw it all away. And I had to mentally, I'll get to it. But first off, I was just checking my score on Golf Ireland, and it was actually one day before my birthday that this occurred. So one day before my birthday, I broke par, which is pretty amazing. But as all good rounds started, it started with a bogey. But there's a few things that I wanted to touch on about coming into this round as well, because if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that we went to Portumna, and I'll link the video there, but like that video nearly didn't get published because of how poor I played there. It was a sad state of affairs, that round of golf. It really was. And after shooting that, I came home. I literally had my tail between my legs. I was contemplating everything. I was contemplating, like, should I be playing golf? Should I be even doing this? Like, who am I to have a golf channel, and who am I to be trying to break par? And I just put my name down on the Friday to go out in Naas, and I was like, just go out and have fun, just go out and enjoy it. So there was the first trigger. I just wanted to go out and enjoy playing golf, because golf had become very serious to me, and I believed that who I was determined by how I played, which is not true at all. You know, who cares? It's a game. So that mentally had to change. So I went out to literally just enjoy myself. I played with a guy who had only played with once before, so we were kind of a new person. I just decided to do a card on the day. I didn't realise it was actually the day before my birthday. That's mad, isn't it? But as all good rounds started with a bogey. But I didn't let it deter me. Now, and if you watch the Ventus video that I put out, the new shaft was in the bag. It was also in Portumna, but at this point, I was a lot more relaxed. There was no tension in my body. I was just out to enjoy myself. I really was. And the round, it was going well, and I kept hovering around. I think I went, if I'm not too mistaken, I went 2 over, and then birdied 7, bogeyed 8, and birdied 9. So like I'm 1 over after 9 holes, and it was on 11 when I noticed something special was happening. Or it was 12 actually, 12, because I just noticed I was being a lot more aggressive because I was a lot more comfortable. I was enjoying myself, and with that enjoyment becomes relaxing, and when you're relaxing, you just hit the shots. Imagine being on the range hitting those shots on the golf course, and that's what I found when I was relaxing. And I'm trying to find that feeling again on the golf course. But I got to 11 and I hit it to about 2 or 3 feet and tapped it in for birdie. And Aaron, who I was playing with, just turned around and looked at me and goes, "How many birdies have you had today?" And that was my 3rd birdie at that point through 11 holes. And at that I was like, I was feeling good, and I knew something was going to happen, but I'd also been in this position before, so I was very, very conscious of that as well. So like I was still not worried about it, kind of throwing it away. Anyway, get through 13, 14, and 15 I start to shake a bit, which is an easy par 5 and nice. I go way off the planet right. I'm trying to belt it down there to try and get on in 2. I'm chasing it a bit now, but I end up kind of duffing it out and stuff like that. But I make par on that hole, but it was the next hole, 16, stroking next to dog leg left, and I just pumped this driver, and with the new shaft in it, I didn't realise how far I was hitting it. It actually went into the trees long of the fairway. If you know Naas dog legs, there's a tree and it dog legs like that. It just went straight and went into the trees. I actually had to hit a provisional ball on that hole. I hit a provisional ball, and before I played the provisional ball, myself and Aaron could kind of sense I was on a good score, so we go over, but actually find the ball in the trees. I can't get to the green, so I have to play this under the canopy 8-iron punch cut, and I get to about 20 yards of the 16th hole. Now I do get up and down for par, and I'm wiping the sweat off of my brow. But this is where the story really begins. Okay, we got there in a rush. Yeah, I'm level par. I'm in 17, right? I had been to 17 multiple times level par at this point. I knew for a long time I could break par, and 17 was my like downfall every single time. I would fight back to level par. I'd birdie 16 to come back to level par. I would birdie 15, par 16, and I'd be level par. And this was happening multiple times through the season. So I got there this time, and this is when it switched inside of me. It just switched. Usually when I got to 17. Now 17, for those who don't know, it is a par 3. It's a long par 3. There's water right, kind of short. There's a little fairway left, but bunker left, bunker long. And if you miss the green, you're pretty much in trouble no matter what side you miss it on. End of. And every time I had got to 17, I had the same tactic. Take a club longer than I needed. It was always about like 180, 170, 180 whenever I got there to the pin. Long enough, a lot of trouble around. Very difficult par 3. Reminds me of the 4th in the Heritage. Very similar holes. I got there, and usually what would happen is very simple. I would take an extra club, absolutely rifle it, usually go long and left into the trees long and left. There's a little group of trees. There must be about 5 or 6 of them, just long left of the green, long left of the bunkers and everything. And I would put it in there or around that area, and then I would chip it into the water, usually make double bogey, and I would come home 2 over par around that. That's how I was playing it multiple times during the season. And I was playing scared on that hole every single time. But I got up onto the tee. I knew I was level par. Aaron didn't know what score I was on, and he was the perfect playing partner for that moment in time because he just kept his mouth shut. He just kept his mouth shut and let me do my thing. So my thought process was, this time I got up on the tee box. I read the yardage. I got the yardage. I can't remember the yardage exactly, but I think it was about 177, something like that. And I was saying to myself, usually I would now take a 5-iron and just rifle it long and left. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a 6-iron and I'm going to go straight for the flag. The flag was on the right-hand side of the green, which was close to the water. It was on about maybe, 7 paces. I said, I'm going to go straight at this thing. Just straight at it and play aggressive. I kept myself nice and relaxed, and I said, look, whatever happens, happens. I must have put it to about 15 feet, dead at the flag. And I was like, whoa, this aggressive thing works. Like, if I just go for it and trust myself and stay relaxed. Obviously it doesn't work all the time, but on that day it did. And I got up there on the green and I sank that putt. My putting was on fire that day. My putting's like... There's a video of me, how I practice my putting at home. If you want to watch it, I'll link it up there. But my putting is like my saving grace. It really is. And that just went in dead center from about 20 feet. It was a decent length putt. I'd already sank like a 30-foot putt on that day and I'd held a good few putts for par. But as soon as I did that in my head, it all changed. It all changed. Because I knew I was 1 under par on the hole. I basically picked up 3 shots on that hole because I'd always double bogey. And to go 1 under on that hole was a massive, massive deal to me because that was the hole that was absolutely killing me. At that point, I could sense I was going to break par. I could sense it because 18 was a handy enough par 5 coming up. But I made that very difficult because this is when I started to get nervous like I'd never been on a golf course before. I got up onto the 18th tee. I was well aware that I was under par. Well aware. Right, if you miss the fairway right on 18, it's OB. And all that was on my thought was just hit the fairway, Philip. Just hit the fairway. Just hit the fairway. And I stepped up onto the tee. And I thank God for that Ventus shaft because that ball was just piped right down the middle. It was the most nervous I'd been on a tee box. Like, even on a first tee box, 18 was, on that day, that's when I was the most nervous. That was when I was absolutely terrified. I didn't want to go right, and I had to fight with myself to focus on the fairway. I had to pick a spot. I had to take an extra minute because I stood up on the tee box. The first thing I thought was, don't go right, don't go right, don't go right. And I knew the ball would go right if I kept thinking like that. I had to take a breath. I picked a tree in the background and I just hit it. And it worked out. It just went dead center, and I like having that shaft in that golf club, that's why that happened. It didn't deviate much offline. Unbelievable. Get down there, I'm in range, and here's my first mistake. Here's my first mistake, trying to throw this thing away. And maybe you can learn from this, guys. Hopefully you can learn from this because I'm 1 under par. I'm dead center of the fairway. I'm in range to hit the green in 2. I have about 210 left. And usually I would squeeze just a cut up there and kind of float one in. But today, for some reason, well, obviously I know why, but now remember, it's out of bounds all the way up to, this will tell you where I'm going, all the way up to the 12th green. The last stake is up there. And I'm on the fairway, I'm 210, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're 1 under par, just take an iron and put it down there. I was so uncommitted in that iron shot. I think I took a 5 iron or something, and I was just like, oh, just knock it down there, I'll have a chip a wedge on, whatever. I sliced that iron so bad because I was so uncommitted. I should have just drilled one like I usually do, but I got so scared and protective of the score that I was on that I played scared. And that was the first mental mistake that I'd made all day, and I nearly threw it away. I was nearly out of bounds. I was so close to either being out of bounds or being down the dip and having the most horrible time trying to make par. And that was the first mental error, but I was lucky enough that it kept in bounds. It kept me in play. I had about 50, 60 yards left to the green. And at this point, I'm trembling. I'm actually trembling. I'm scared. I'm nervous. There's a lot of emotions going on. I'm well aware of my score. I can't get out of my head, and I'm trying to fight this thing. So I pick up my 56 degree, and if you've watched my What's in the Bag, you know my 56 degree is my go-to club for everything in that sort of range. I'm comfortable with the club, everything, and all I'm thinking to myself, usually my mindset when I have my 56 degree in my hand, I'll let you in. Usually my mindset when I have my 56 degree in hand, like I did on 16, is put it in the hole. I want to put it in the hole. If I have my 56 degree in my hand, I'm trying to put it in the hole. I'm not trying to get it close, I'm trying to put it in the hole. That's exactly what I'm doing. I just tried to hit the green with this one. I was like, just get it on the green, 2-putt, get out of there. That's how mentally fried I was at this point, terrified. I get up and I actually duff it. I duff it. I had 50, 60 yards out to the front of the green and I duff it. I hit it probably about 2 or 3 inches behind the ball. The ball comes out and it lands 5. It stumbles its way up. How it got there, I do not know. But it stumbles its way up to about 5 feet, 5, 6 feet short of the green. At this point, I'm nearly thinking to myself, like, what's happening here? Like, so I get up to the ball. I calm myself. I don't take a wedge out at all. I said, no, I'm leaving this now. So I get my putter out of my hand. I take my putter out of my hand and I'm confident with putter. I'm very confident with putter. And I'm completely at home with the putter in my hand. And I do not, for some reason, a calm came over me at that point because I had the putter in my hand. And I was like, okay, I have the putter in my hand. We're here, we're putting. And as soon as because of the level of confidence that I have with the putter, as soon as I have the putter in hand, I'm thinking hole. I'm not thinking, if you watch me out, if you watch me out playing till Faris, I think on the greens, like, it's a long, long way from here. We're on the green though, but this is all about getting it. Let's be honest, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it. I don't lag putt. Lag putting to me isn't a thing. It's like if I'm trying to get in the hole from 100 yards, why am I not trying to get in the hole from like 40 feet? Like, no, I'm trying to put it in the hole. I hate the whole concept of lag putting and that ideology. I have my putter in my hand, 6 feet off. I'm about 6 feet off the green. Pin is about 15 feet onto the green. I feel good. I feel confident. The nerves have subsided. I'm still fully aware of my score, of the situation. And I hit that putt. And it'll just show you mentally, I stumbled on the 2 shots previous to that. I hit that putt. I lipped out to go 2 under par and I hung on the edge. And I had to go up and tap it in. And at that point, I said to Aaron, that was the first time I broke par, and he goes, I knew you were playing well. I knew you were really steady. But that was it. It'll just show you how mentally you can actually advance or destroy your game in a blink of an eye. When you try to protect scores that you don't actually have yet, it can lead to devastating numbers. It just shows you in that moment. I could have not broke par if I didn't have that putter in my hand. I probably still would have been nervous. I did try to throw it away. I didn't, thankfully. But I won't be changing the name of the channel until I do it on camera. I know I can do it again. I just need to mentally get myself in that spot again, into that carefree spot again. And I think that's what we all, like, it's not about not caring. It's about letting the game happen and enjoying the game. That's what I think it's about. And I'm looking forward to starting the season and really, really going for it and enjoying every step that I take on that golf course and every shot that I take, and whatever result happens, happens. But I know this year that I'm going out there to break par, to change the name of this channel. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I hope that helped you. If it did, drop a like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.